Hello and welcome to St. Lucia Magazine, our weekly news program reviewing developments in government across various sectors including healthcare, education, and the economy. I am your host, Nival Auguste. In this week's highlights, Ressource celebrates the return of essential healthcare services. We begin the recap with the handing over of the Ressource Dennery Wellness Center to the community. The newly upgraded facility has been commissioned and will restore critical primary healthcare services to include access to specialist medical services. Melissa Paul reports.
After nearly a decade without a dedicated healthcare facility, the people of Ressource once again have access to essential primary healthcare services in their own community. On March 11, 2015, the Ressource Wellness Center was destroyed by fire, disrupting services and forcing residents to seek care elsewhere. While outreach programs and neighboring healthcare facilities provided temporary relief, the need for a fully equipped center remained urgent.
I was awakened by a phone call in the wee hours of Monday, the 9th of March in the year 2015. And I think it was Nurse Kufni Suraj, who called to inform that the Ressource Health Center was on fire. We discussed what was happening. I informed the then Minister with Responsibility for Health, the Honorable Alvina Reynolds, and Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony. And lo and behold, Dr. Anthony immediately made provisions for $371,000 to be placed in the budget to begin the reconstruction process. It was grant money from the Republic of China, Taiwan. Aujourd'hui, I'm content that nous avons and I am extremely grateful to the Prime Minister, my cabinet colleagues, all the staff from the Ministry of Health, my constituents, and everybody who would have played a part in the restoration of this facility for the people of the Mabwe Valley.
That promise has now been fulfilled. On Friday, February 28, 2025, the new Ressource Wellness Center officially opened its doors, restoring vital services such as maternal and child care, chronic disease management, and general medical clinics. For the first time, the center also offers specialist care in dental health, mental health, men's health, and podiatry, expanding access to critical healthcare services.
Building resilience in the small business sector remains a priority for the government. In its first sitting for 2025, the lower house approved key legislative changes, including an amendment to the Security Interest in Movable Property Act aimed at making business operations easier, especially for small enterprises. Virgil Leonti has the details.
Government is continuing to focus attention on building resilience in the small business sector. In the latest initiatives to support the sector, the lower house passed the Security Interest in Movable Property Amendment at its first sitting of the year on February 25, 2025. The bill will expand provisions in the legislation to make business operation easier. The amendment was presented by the Minister of Finance, Prime Minister Philip Pierre, who said it would provide greater flexibility and security for businesses looking to leverage movable assets.
As such, the Act allows medium and micro businesses to use movable property, such as appliances and equipment, and vehicles as security. However, Mr. Speaker, to provide further clarity in the implementation of the Act, it is necessary to amend the Act to provide for stamp duty exemption to apply to transactions regarding movable assets. So what this amendment seeks to do, Mr. Speaker, is it seeks to allow a waiver of stamp duty on assets, on movable assets, Mr. Speaker, so that small businesses can be further supported to borrow or to expand.
The House also gave approval to 3 other bills. The Virtual Asset Business Amendment will strengthen oversight of virtual assets. The Real Estate Brokers Bill makes provision for the creation of a board of directors, as well as the issuing of licenses to real estate agents and brokers. The House adjourned with the passage of the Real Estate Bill, presented by the Minister of Commerce, Manufacturing, Business Development, Cooperatives and Consumer Affairs, Honorable Emma Hippolyte. The bill will set guidelines for the operations of the real estate sector in St. Lucia. Virgil Leonti reporting for St. Lucia Magazine.
At a recent meeting hosted by the St. Lucia Employers Federation, business owners voiced their concerns over the recently implemented national minimum wage. Executive Director of the Federation, Cornelia Jean-Baptiste, emphasized that while employers support fair wages, they must also balance compliance with financial stability. More in this report from Glenn Simon.
All employers, and I must state, all employers are in support of the minimum wage.
On October 1st, 2024, St. Lucia introduced its first ever national minimum wage, set at $6.52 per hour, or $1,131 per month, designed to improve workers' standard of living through fair and equitable compensation. The policy has also posed challenges for some employers. During a breakfast meeting hosted by the St. Lucia Employers Federation, SLEF, business owners shared first-hand experiences of the wages' impact while exploring potential solutions. Executive Director of SLEF, Cornelia Jean-Baptiste, expressed the importance of these discussions in addressing employers' concerns.
For example, how were businesses able to meander between restructuring budgets, maintaining workforce levels, and of course, maintaining business sustainability. So this is the purpose of the ongoing discussions we've had, and this morning was just a continuation of such.
The Executive Director stressed that while businesses support a fair minimum wage, they must also navigate the challenge of balancing compliance with financial sustainability. For the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council, Glenn Simon reporting.
Parliament played host to a French delegation, including 3 senators, the charge d'affaires, and other members of the French mission, in a diplomatic engagement aimed at strengthening bilateral relations between French countries and St. Lucia. Kishma Sevier reports.
St. Lucia's export agency head, Sunita Daniel, led St. Lucia's charge to explore possible trade and commerce partnerships between St. Lucia and its French neighbors of Martinique and Guadeloupe. Daniel said the markets of the 2 French departments presented significant export potential for St. Lucia.
With Martinique, it's very modest, and that's because a lot of the trade happens through informal channels. There's a lot of trade going through the boats, so a lot of people will pack on products and so on and send to businesses, but it's not recorded formally in terms of trade that's happening. There are also informal trade. These informal trade arrangements tell us that there is actually an opportunity for us to bring that informal trade into the formal statistics and data.
Daniel highlighted that recent data indicates a growing demand for St. Lucian goods, particularly in rum, condiments, spices, and packaging materials.
In 2024, we saw a strong recovery of exports going to Martinique, and a lot of that would be in products such as rums, condiments, so our pepper sauces, spices, and packaging materials like from our boxes.
Historically, St. Lucia has maintained close economic and cultural ties with Martinique, bolstered by geographical proximity and shared interests. Trade between the English and French Caribbean has primarily involved agricultural products, tourism services, and manufactured goods. Senator Helen Conway-Murray said there are untapped opportunities and non-traditional areas for engagement between St. Lucia and the French departments of Martinique and Guadeloupe.
As we believe, as you have very well expressed, that there is opportunities that have not been worked on so far. And I agree with you when you say that it takes political will to move forward, because the tools are there, but there are also obstacles.
The CEO of Export St. Lucia highlighted the challenges exporters face in accessing European Union markets due to complex customs regulations and high transportation costs. Additionally, Danielle said a recent EU decision was restricting the entry of St. Lucian sea moss in French markets and is threatening a thriving industry that has created employment in rural communities. The meeting concluded with a commitment to deepen bilateral relations across multiple sectors. For the Government Information Service, I am Kishma Seri.
This is St. Lucia Magazine. Still to come, the government of St. Lucia intensifies its efforts to combat substance abuse. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Welcome to St. Lucia's Security Interest in Movable Properties Registry, or Collateral Registry, a trusted platform for securing loans with movable assets like machinery, vehicles, or receivables. Financial institutions register their security lien over assets, providing transparency for both lenders and borrowers. Before issuing a loan, lenders can quickly search for existing liens on an asset to avoid conflicts. Being first to register typically means priority in claims if a default occurs. After a loan is paid off, the corresponding lien is removed from the registry. This innovative system fosters transparency, safeguards rights, and enables businesses to leverage their assets for growth. Enhance your financial access using movable collateral. Speak to your lender today. For more information, contact the St. Lucia High Court at 468-7500.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre has warned that substance abuse threatens national development. Speaking at the celebratory rally for the island's 46th independence anniversary, the Prime Minister outlined a comprehensive approach, including policy reforms, educational programs, and stronger regulations to protect citizens' well-being. Petula Olibert has the details.
Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre has reaffirmed the government's commitment to combat the growing challenge of substance abuse that threatens to stymie national development. In his address during the rally to mark St. Lucia's 46th anniversary of independence, Prime Minister Pierre said the government would implement robust policy measures that aim to safeguard the country's development and address the effects of drug abuse.
We are also faced with growing challenges of alcohol and drug disorders, which impacts mental health, loss of productivity, injury, and violence. In recent years, we have had reforms as it pertains to the use of cannabis. The conversation around cannabis continues to evolve, and as a government, our first priority is that all decisions and actions are foremost to protect the health and well-being of our people.
Prime Minister Pierre said government will take a multidimensional approach in its response to the threat on substance abuse.
We must take action and take it now. As a government, we state our commitment to strengthen the policies to address this crisis and to enhance the current education programs targeted at our youth. My government is committed to addressing this crisis from a multifaceted approach, strengthening prevention, expanding treatment and rehabilitation, enforcing stronger regulations, supporting communities, empowering youth and individuals at a high level of vulnerabilities. This fight against alcohol and drug abuse requires action by all of society and to nurture our nation on its path to achieving health and well-being.
The Prime Minister called for unity to address and eliminate behaviors harmful to the nation's health. Petula Olibert reporting.
Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre engaged with the St. Lucian diaspora in Barbados, sharing key national developments from the Sovereign Wealth Fund to declining unemployment and progress in healthcare. Melissa Paul has the details.
On February 20th, 2025, Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre met with the St. Lucian diaspora in Barbados at the UE Cave Hill campus, sharing key updates on national development.
The last 3 years, St. Lucia has achieved economic growth of between 2 and 4.5%. At this point, St. Lucia has the lowest unemployment rate in the history of our country. We are at 11%, And we hope later this year we could possibly reach single digits. What is more concerning is the level of youth unemployment. Youth unemployment was at 43%, extremely high. And I can tell you, by investments in the youth, by the growing of the economy, youth unemployment now is still high, but it's at 18%, again the lowest for a long time.
Prime Minister Pierre also addressed ongoing improvements in healthcare, focusing on improving medical services and enhancing hospital and primary healthcare infrastructure to better serve the people of St. Lucia.
So we are expanding the Grosley Polyclinic, now called the Dr. Martin D.D. Polyclinic, where we can provide emergency services in Grosley, in the north of the country, which is the most populous part of the island. We are also expanding the OKU hospital to put a fifth wing to deal with the issues of space. And we are converting the old emergency ward at the old Victoria Hospital, now called the Dr. Vincent Paris Complex, so we can provide emergency services in that building.
The establishment of the Sovereign Wealth Fund of St. Lucia was another major topic. The Prime Minister emphasized the role of the fund in mitigating the financial impact of climate events. He noted that the fund aims to foster a culture of savings and investment among St. Lucians.
So there is legislation now in the Parliament for the creation of a Sovereign Wealth Fund, where every year it's going to be legislated that the country has what is almost forced savings. And that money will not be able to be taken out of that account unless it's an emergency, and in this case, an emergency from some climate event. So we started the Sovereign Wealth Fund, and hopefully the Sovereign Wealth Fund can inculcate in the people of St. Lucia the need to save and the need to invest.
The Sovereign Wealth Fund of St. Lucia bill had its first reading in Parliament on February 25, 2025. The Prime Minister's message was met with strong support from the St. Lucian diaspora in Barbados, applauding the government's focus on sustainable national development.
28 individuals responsible for food preparation in schools have completed a fully funded training initiative, successfully attaining Level 2 CVQ certification. A recent graduation ceremony hosted in Soufrière marked the end of instruction. Kiva Taliam has more in this report.
28 school cooks employed by the Ministry of Education have successfully completed their Caribbean Vocational Qualification CVQ Level 2 training. The initiative, supported by the National Skills Development Center and funded by the Human Capital Resilience Project, HCRP, ensures that with upskilling the ancillary staff members, students have access to healthier, well-prepared meals. Expressing gratitude for the support received, Coordinator for Student Welfare Miriam Hinville outlined the far-reaching impact of the initiative.
It augurs well for the school feeding program, which is a very critical safety net program for St. Lucia. And with this skills development of the cooks, they are able to go back and implement. St. Lucia has, as of late, increases in NCDs and cancer cases, and by providing them with this training, they are able now to go back and prepare nutritious meals. Having received all the necessary food items, we incorporate a lot of local produce, and they have been trained on how to use these local produce to present to the children. Children now, their taste buds are different, so they have to create like appetizing and colorful meals to meet the children's needs.
According to Henville, prioritizing such training opportunities positively impacts the main beneficiaries of feeding programs, the students. Finance Manager at the National Skills Development Center, NSDC, Ketura Donai, underscored the importance of support received from the Ministry of Education. Training, she says, is also an important factor in empowering participants as potential entrepreneurs.
The training came at a very opportune time where we were doing that SLA therapy project, which is a World Bank funded project. So you know that the funds come from the Ministry of Education. And these funds were allocated just for that purpose. So managing the funds and actually getting involved in dealing with the individuals who are doing the training, you get to know more about them and what the needs are. And in St. Lucia, we do have a need to train the cooks.
The recently held graduation ceremony was hosted in Soufrière, marking the completion of yet another stage of professional development. From the Communications Unit of the Department of Education, Innovation and Vocational Training, I am Kiba Talium.
When we return, Prime Minister Pierre extends financial support to an after-school program in Castries East. Stay with us.
Yeah, my G. Yeah. The road clear, my G. Do road.
I don't feel now is the right side.
Are you mean by the road clear, my G? Do road 120. Yeah, man. That's how we do it. Like real boss. Boy. Yes, that. Watch it.
Don't fall victim to peer pressure when driving. Your life and the lives of others are your responsibility. Drive safe. Arrive alive.
Prime Minister and Parliamentary Representative for Castries East, Honorable Philip J. Pierre, is providing financial support for an after-school program for disadvantaged students in the constituency.
Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre has thrown his support behind a transformative after-school program for children in the Marshall community, aimed at fostering academic, creative, and emotional development.
Then we ask ourselves, how will we fund this? We reached out to our district representative, the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Philip J. Pierre, who embraced the idea and gave us his full support. Thanks to his generosity, we were able to acquire the necessary materials, stationery, printer, and art supplies to ensure that the program could become a reality.
This initiative, which costs over $60,000 annually, provides critical self-development opportunities for disadvantaged children from kindergarten to grade 6.
We began in October of 2024 with just 9 children, and today we have 39 students, carefully selected with the help of principals from the Bishop Gashes Primary School, Ave Maria and RC Boys. These are students who are disadvantaged and in need of extra support free of charge. And this program is open to all.
Obesity rates continue to rise, putting millions at risk of serious diseases like diabetes, heart conditions, and even certain cancers. March 4th marked World Obesity Day, a call to action to raise awareness about the causes and prevention of obesity. Virgil Leonti has more in this report.
In observance of World Obesity Day held annually on March 4th, the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs used the occasion to spotlight concerns about rising levels of obesity on the island. According to Chief Nutritionist Lisa Hunt, the risk factors of high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, and some cancers associated with obesity have resulted in a health crisis in St. Lucia.
Although many factors contribute to obesity, the most common factors are unhealthy diets, high in fats, sugars, and calories, and insufficient physical activity. There are also social and lifestyle factors that can contribute to an obesogenic environment. The prevalence of obesity in both adults and children continue to increase in the Caribbean. In St. Lucia, approximately 65% of adults aged 18 to 69 years old is either overweight or obese, according to the 2019 STEPS survey.
According to Hunt, tackling obesity and other ailments afflicting the society require a collaborative approach with all sectors of the society.
The Ministry of Health has the mandate to ensure the health and well-being of the population, but needs the support of multiple stakeholders. whilst the Ministry of Health continues to lobby for structural, fiscal and regulatory actions aimed at creating healthy environments, the intervention and support of other ministries, organizations and the private sector is essential in working harmoniously for a healthier nation.
The health official emphasized the importance of primary prevention as a health response in addressing health issues early. World Diabetes Day was held under the theme Changing Systems, Healthy Lives. Virgil Leonti reporting for St. Lucia Magazine.
The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs joined the global community in observing World Hearing Day 2025. Kendall Eugene has the details.
The annual observance, recognized on March 3rd, aims to raise awareness on ear and hearing care while encouraging behavior change to prevent hearing loss. Family nurse practitioner and hearing technician at the Ministry of Health, Mary Joseph Sidney, in a statement said hearing care and hearing loss were declared public health concerns in 2017 with the adoption of the Resolution of Prevention of Deafness and Hearing Loss at the World Health Assembly.
This campaign aims to inspire behavior change to protect hearing from loud sounds, prevent hearing loss, encourage individuals to check their hearing regularly, use hearing devices if needed, and support those living with hearing loss. World Hearing Day is the largest global awareness campaign on ear and hearing care that calls for action to address hearing loss.
Sydney underscored the importance of hearing health, highlighting sobering global statistics on hearing loss.
World Report on Hearing Care reveals that over 1.5 billion people live with hearing loss, of which nearly 430 million people live with disabling hearing loss. It is expected that the prevalence of hearing loss will rise considerably in the coming decades.
St. Lucia is reportedly experiencing an increase in hearing loss cases. In 2023, a total of 943 individuals were diagnosed with hearing loss, with 63% classified as having disabling hearing loss. By 2024, health facilities assessed 1,100 people, diagnosing 704 with hearing loss, 65% of whom had disabling conditions. This marks a 2% increase compared to 2023. The Ministry of Health provides ear and hearing care services at the Entrepot and Viewfort Wellness Centers. Reporting for the Government Information Service, I am Kendall Eugene.
And finally, health officials are raising concerns as respiratory illnesses surge across the island. The Ministry of Health has taken proactive measures to curb the spread, including updated protocols and the distribution of face masks. Kishma Serie has more in this report.
Health officials report a significant increase in medical visits for respiratory illnesses. In response, the Medical Surveillance Officer, Dr. Dana De Costa Gomez, says the Ministry of Health is taking steps to curb the spread of these diseases.
The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs, through routine in-country surveillance, has noted an increase in respiratory illnesses at the beginning of 2025, similar to that seen globally. To date, 85% of the cases have been confirmed due to influenza A, while influenza B and RSV have also been detected.
The Ministry of Health, as part of the intervention to mitigate against further spread of the illnesses, will be making face masks available for those who would need protection to stop the spread of respiratory diseases. The ministry is also urging those who wish to take the flu vaccine to do so from any of the wellness clinics in their community. Aside from the medical interventions, Dr. Gomez says the usual standard of good hygiene practice of washing hands will help with safeguarding against the infection. The health officer says the ministry remains committed to protecting the health and well-being of all citizens and will provide ongoing updates as necessary. Reporting for the Government Information Service, I am Kishma Serie.
With this, we come to the end of St. Lucia Magazine. Thank you to all who contributed to the production of this program, the National Television Network, GIS team, and the communication officers of the various ministries. Thank you for joining us on NCN Channel 122 and the social media pages of the Government of St. Lucia. I am Neva Logist. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, as we look forward to more positive developments in the coming week.